Hey everybody, this is Your Welcome America, episode number 3. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us for a little bit. Today we talked about Chris's perspective for a few minutes on what I put out the other day. We talked about the wall a little bit and the whole government shutdown for a minute, and we kind of started veering off into unknown territory, making some jokes here and there, and then I don't know how we do it, but we started talking about prepping again and just how shit can go so wrong in a relatively short amount of time. If fucking the grid goes out, if electricity goes down, if people are starting to panic. So we did that towards the end, but it was just good. We got time to sit down and talk. So I hope you enjoy it. Please let us know. Go and share this with the friends and family in your life if you think it's something they might want to hear. But anyways, I want to say thank you to a few people that reached out and got back to me the other day after kind of my solo little episode. That was awesome. I had a few great exchanges with people, even if we didn't agree, but it was perfect. That was like exactly what all of this is for. So thank you to those people for doing that. And yeah, so it's real. If anybody wants to talk, you let me know. We'll do it. Okay, that's it. Enjoy the fuck out of this one. This is episode number 3. You're welcome, America. Hey, buddy.
Yo, what's up, man?
So we finally got time to sit down and fucking record this podcast.
Yeah, that was my bad. I been crazy busy moving and life-altering decisions.
Dude, that's just like, I try to explain that as often as I can, that this is the most low budget. We do this fucking as a hobby venture that anyone could do. Yeah. Shit still takes time though. Like if you think about all the episodes that we do have and all the episodes that have been corrupted or we fucked up somehow, that never got to get published.
Yeah, we're just like, fuck it, garbage bin.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
All right. So Chris had the chance to listen to most of my episode yesterday, so I'd like to hear some of your commentary on that bullshit.
So
light me up, bro.
I guess,
light me up.
All right. No, I see. That's not fair to do that. Not fair to light you up. And the reason I say that is because that's what everybody has been doing to each other since this broke out. And I think that's the big problem is that each side of the argument has had their moments of like, oh shit, that sucks, and like, haha, got you, and they went back and forth and back and forth. And I was among those. Like, I was livid when I saw that first video. I was like, this little motherfucker. But it is more nuanced. Not saying that they weren't assholes. I'm not saying that the Indian man made the best decision and how he was trying to diffuse it. But obviously, there's no defense of the racist black Hebrew Israelites, which I've never heard of before.
Dude, but it's a group of 4 people.
Disgusting things, and they sparked it. My thoughts on the MAGA hat. That's probably the most controversial thing, I think, because I think that wearing that and a coordinated, like, wearing it together, because there were sweatshirts, there was tons of hats. I think that's a political statement that has a lot of racial and undertones, and even not so much undertones, almost overt. And I think that's what for a lot of people was kind of one of the main key things.
Yeah, and you know what? I was talking with somebody about this after I had put that out last night, and it was interesting to talk about because it does come with a lot of racial undertones, whether or not it's true or you acknowledge or whatever the fuck. It just does because of who it represents and the things that he said. And I think I mentioned like at least a handful of things where he targeted, 5 different fucking groups in a derogatory way. And so I came from so to try to combat that a little bit, I'm like, and I said it in the podcast, not everybody who voted for Trump is a racist, but all of the white racists voted for Trump. I said all of the racists voted for Trump, but that's definitely not true. There are for sure racists on the left who fucking hate white people or just whatever. They're racists everywhere.
Sure.
But so my defense of that is like, I know people that voted for Trump who are not fucking racist. I
yes,
just do.
yeah,
So the person explained to me, yeah, but their ability to overlook the fucking racial shit that he says and, what allowing him to be president and the racist shit that he says is like, is allowing racism to, like, you're turning a blind eye and saying, like, I don't give a fuck enough about that because my position on tax reform is more important than giving a shit about a racist guy. And I was like, man, that's fucking true. And that kind of
yeah.
like, it tweaked my brain a little bit of like, okay, damn. So I see where you're coming from with that then. I don't know that the people that are Trump supporters see it that way or are
Yeah, I
informed enough to hold that opinion, but I see where that you're coming from.
well, I think that's a problem, the informed part, because part of it is people get their information on more so on the right. And from my observation, this is just my opinion from what I've seen and read and been exposed to. More so on the right, there's a lot of propaganda news outlets led by Fox News as like the main hub. I
Carrying
mean,
that flag, bro.
it's there's no question Fox News is one step away from being just all out state sponsored media. It's the equivalent of RT in Russia. It's just not. It's always going to try and shine a good light on anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think that's a big part of it. The people that are wrong are just being fed lies and misinformation. And it does happen on the left for sure. I've run across those websites too that are just, it's like, okay, come on. Like, not everything's about racism and sexism. Like, some things are just the way they are naturally. There doesn't have to be an evil white male overlord, making everything shitty. Sometimes things are just shitty.
Yeah, for sure.
But
And those people still exist, but
yeah, they do. They do. And when you find them, we do what we do with fucking Weinstein and everyone else. We just all got to play by the same rules. If you're going to hold your people you don't like to a super high standard for a crime or a certain conduct, you got to do the same thing with the people you do like. And I think the left and Democrats do that significantly, noticeably more. We had a couple rising stars who had relatively tiny scandals that broke out and immediately resigned. Especially
that fucking. Oh, are you thinking of the same person I am? I can't think of his name because I'm
senator from Minnesota.
Yeah, Al Franken.
Al Franken, yeah.
He touched a lady's back too low or some shit
during
a photo
picture,
op.
Yeah. And that was like that one and a picture from a USO tour where a female was wearing body armor and sleeping. It was like his coworker and he was he was feet away from her, but he kind of made that look like he was gonna grab her boobs or whatever. Like, it was just a quick little picture trying to be funny in the moment, and people are so sensitive to that, especially with politicians and especially with people in power. And that's kind of the power dynamic that really, I think, accentuates people's issue with that, is because when you're in a position of power, you can't make those type of things, those gestures towards people that you have power over. But
yeah, you can't
I guess
at all.
The point is that would have been nothing for the Republicans. They would have mowed over that and kept trucking. And his own party ate him too soon. So that's, kind of the fault in both sides. One goes too far, one doesn't go far enough. That's my 2 cents on all of that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing.
I forgot what we were talking about, to be honest.
Dude, I'm so fucking lost as to what the fuck the point is that we're making right now.
Yeah, I don't know. We talked about
I have no idea either.
Yeah.
Shit.
Wow, that was a fun tunnel. So what was the point of the podcast? What were you going to talk about? The wall and immigration, right?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's wall this shit up.
So I'm gonna lie. I didn't watch.
You are gonna lie?
I'm gonna lie. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably lie a little bit, but
For
you
sure.
see if you can catch it.
Yeah.
I
This has to be like
haven't
real
been
news.
I haven't been watching the wall for about 2 days, so I don't know what's new. There could be, for all I know, a huge caravan of raping pirates from Mexico approaching to destroy us.
Most
Or
likely scenario. For sure.
yeah, I mean that's the ultimate fear, right?
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't know either. I've just heard the political pundit things going back and forth about goddamn Trump doing the State of the Union and Nancy Pelosi being like, "Fuck off, you're not doing it in the House," or the
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And them going back and forth and all that shit. So I don't know anything really at the border, just kind of the political swingings back and forth of they were supposed to meet up to try to get a deal and everybody's like, "No, you can go fuck yourself." And
Yeah.
so this is kind of where so I was thinking about this cuz I was like I was trying to figure out who the like this government shutdown thing is fucking people over. It's terrible. It's
It
fucking
is for
terrible.
sure.
And so I was like, okay, there are two parties at work here that are keeping the government shut down, right? So the Democrats are being like, fuck you. We're not giving you money for this wall, and we're not even talking about it until you open up the government.
Yeah.
And Donnie J is like, fuck you. I'm not opening up the government till you give me money for this wall. So I was sitting there, and this is probably just me being dumb, but playing games in my head. And I'm like, all right, so they're both holding each other hostage to keep the fucking government shut down. So I was like, okay, I will see the right are going to be like, fucking Pelosi won't do this. They won't give him money, so it's their fault. And then everybody on the left is like, fuck Trump. So I thought about it, and I was like, dude, it's 100% his fault. I mean, everybody's going to be like, you're an idiot. Of course it is. Why'd you even have to think about that? But whatever. But it's 100%. The fucking Democrats won the House. It's never going to pass the House. It's never going to pass the fucking House. That's what happens when you lose that shit.
Yeah.
So, Trump, pull your head out of your fucking ass, fund the government, pay these fucking workers, and let's pretend like you guys are going to talk about building a wall, which will never be built. You'll be lucky if you get a fucking check to get additional security on the fucking border because you lost that shit.
Yeah.
And that's where I fell with that finally.
No, that I mean, I'm pretty close to the exact same spot. I feel like so for the first 2 years, his biggest motto, his biggest running thing in the whole thing was, I'm going to build a wall. That was his staple, right? I'm going to build the wall. Mexico's going to pay for it. It's going to be big, beautiful from fucking ocean to ocean. 2 years to
get it done, bro.
2 years, House, Senate,
all the majorities,
and the presidential branch.
Dragging your motherfucking motherfucking feet, yeah. Bro.
And nothing on it. Even in December, there was money for increased, security. It passed. There's a bill passed in the Senate in December, and then as soon as the House, as soon as Congress changes power, Mitch McConnell won't even hold a vote for that same bill that already passed with like near unanimous Republican support. So yeah. I put a lot more blame on Mitch McConnell's feet because he can hold a vote in the Senate and it can pass and they can put it right up on Donald Trump's desk and he has to choose whether to veto it or not. But he's not willing to do that because right now he can sit in the shadows to a point and let Donald Trump and the Democrats eat each other. And meanwhile, he's getting off relatively easy when he's equally to blame.
Yeah. That's 100% true. Mitch McConnell's such a fucking slimy bitch.
He is a fucking snake.
He's the worst.
Calling him a turtle is an insult to turtles because
I know
turtles are pretty fucking awesome.
I have one tattooed on my body. I can't be associated with that.
So hey, I'm going to jump in and we're going to do a little wildlife podcast.
Hell yeah!
All I have to say about snakes for the whole thing is just fuck snakes, like the end, and then we can move on. But
yeah, they're terrible creatures.
Yeah. And Mitch McConnell.
The Bible did get that shit right. If there was going to be a Satan creature, snake's a solid candidate.
Yeah, no. Like, certain shows, like Game of Thrones, right? Like, what makes them great is the casting. The casting was so good. And that was like one of the Bible's hits, was having the snake as Satan. It's like,
Yeah.
that's perfect fucking casting.
That was the fucking, they nailed that shit.
Ooh, bad pun? Or, no?
Yeah, bring it,
Oh,
bring
yeah.
it. Bring it. I need something punny.
No, I thought you were making a paint, Jesus nailed to the cross. So you
Oh,
said
damn
nailed
it. No, fuck.
Oh, my bad.
I guess so. Hey, let's rewind time real quick, people. Did anybody catch that?
Yeah.
That's good placement.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, poor little Jesus.
Brought to you by Jesus Nails.
Jesus nail. What if that was a fucking... Oh, man. What if you started a carpentry company that was like Jesus Incorporated or some shit?
Oh, my God.
You break it, we'll fix it.
Yeah, I don't know what that. Give us 3 days.
I don't know.
We'll fix it in 3 days or something.
Yeah.
We only use square nails. Like, I don't know what the gimmick is, but
God damn it. That'll be our new ad revenue somehow.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Okay,
Thanks,
we'll get on
Jesus.
that.
But no, this fucking... So this wall thing is like... It's... He needs to accept defeat. He fucking lost the house. It's just what it is. You have to let it go, bro. Let people work. Let people get paid. And not even let people work. Motherfuckers are working without pay.
Yep.
Fuck you. Luckily, I am not in that situation, because I'd be real hard pressed in my situation to be like, y'all can go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, I would too. 100%. But not everybody has that luxury.
Exactly.
Some people, they're just stuck and they don't have any alternatives. Alternatives left.
There's got to be like, I don't know what kind of like laws they're violating by doing that. Is there somebody? There's
competing laws
somewhere
that are starting to come out, and people are really looking for ways to obviously we're a litigation society, so they're trying to find ways to sue the government for this and that and negligence and not performing functions of the government. And I think they have a strong point. Like, I think that needs to happen to prove to these motherfuckers that they can't use humans' lives as political pawns for their own furthering their own agendas and careers.
Yeah, it's fucking gross.
Yeah, and all this conversation about who's to blame, I think, just needs to stop on the day that Trump announced proudly, I will be proud to shut the government down. I will own it. I won't blame you, Chuck and Nancy.
Dude, when they were sitting there in the Oval... I don't know if it was the Oval Office.
It was... I forget which room it was.
The press room or some shit?
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever. But yeah, and he's sitting there, and Chuck Schumer just fucking baits him like, so wait. What you're saying is... And he's like, yup. And he said it verbatim, and Chuck was like, Nancy, we fucking got him.
Yep.
And then everybody was like, all right, cool, but...
Chuck's poker face, I would love to play fucking poker with that guy, because
oh my God.
As soon as he did that, he couldn't even look at Trump anymore. He was so like okay. And but Pelosi, man, she was stone-faced. Like, her face expression didn't change, but she's definitely smart enough to realize what he just did on camera.
Yeah. So you're saying you will take full responsibility for... Because didn't he literally say, like, yep, this is on me?
Yes. He literally said, yes, I will take full blame for this, and I will be proud to shut the government down.
Yeah.
And I won't blame you. That was the whole fucking soundbite.
I know. God damn it. And then he comes out
That's a hard one to walk back.
Dude, you can't. It's on the record, but they will somehow. They'll throw Huckabee Sanders out, and her fucking... Oh, God. She'll start just throwing up at the mouth at the fucking camera.
So, real quick, wasn't she leaving the very beginning of the new year?
I don't know, man. I feel like it would be good for her health.
No, that's what they announced, like, in October, that she was going to be leaving her position.
Oh, I for sure don't remember that.
And then there was a story in December that she had, like, reported to somebody or said to somebody, commented that she's having a hard time finding any work after, And and now, like, a month into the new year almost, she's still in that position and no word of her leaving. I think she's staying because she couldn't get a job, man, like anything real.
God, I think she's staying because nobody wants to take her fucking job. But I mean, I guess I feel like somebody would hire her.
Somebody would take that job. But who would hire and for what?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Gotta
Yeah.
be some righty organization that are like, you
You
did a
would
good
think.
job, Sarah. You did a
I
fucking good job.
I think so, except for she's not charismatic. She's not very likable. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I wonder what she's like in real life. Because, she's got, like, after all of the time being press secretary for this monster, like, you have to be a hardened fucking person to be able to get up there and just ask.
yeah.
Like, you do. You have to just
Yep.
lock this shit down and become a stone-faced fucking killer. So I wonder if, like, she gets off work and she's, like, in the bubble bath, like, oh, my God, the day was so fucking hard. I wonder if The Bachelor's on right now. Like, I don't know.
No, there's no way. You can't go back and forth that fucking snip snap snip snap. Like you have to like be who you are.
God,
And
it's so crazy.
yeah, I think if she weren't more like this in real life. Now, obviously, she's fulfilling a role, and she has to, tout the president's agenda and say whatever she has to say, truth or lie, to make him look good. And she would have a different tune a little bit on a lot of these issues if she wasn't in that position. But to go in there every day and to put that face on and that front on every day would be too difficult, I think, if you weren't already in that kind of mindset. You know what I mean? If you weren't already a believer of a lot of this crap.
Yeah. No, for sure. You're right. You can't. Those are two, like, opposing forces at play in your mind. I don't know how you could fucking
you can't
do
hold
that.
There's no way. There's just no
That's
way.
hilarious, though.
Unless you're a
Oh my
sociopath.
God.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. I want to see her, which could very well be, but I want to see her like first few days press secretary, and I want to see it now, and just the transition
Oh, that's
of
brilliant,
just
man.
like so what happened was yo, fuck you, sit down, I'm not taking
Yeah.
your question. President did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
There's no pussy grabbing here, assholes. Be like, God
Yeah.
damn, Sarah. Holy shit.
Yeah. That's who he needed, honestly, right out of the gate, if he was going to do that instead of this like slow descent into 1984 media style narrative control.
1984.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. What did I see? There was a quote from 1984, and it was like, I think I saw it on right-wing propaganda stuff. Oh, it was something about how, and it was in regards to the kid. Sorry, we're going back to the fucking Covington kid. But, I didn't verify any of this because, it's time consuming. But it was a quote out of 1984, like, basically you made a face gesture that is not allowed. I can't remember, there's a word for it.
Yeah.
It was face something. And it's like, ooh, you can't fucking do that. And people were using that as an example. Like, that kid smiled incorrectly. You can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I see where you're
No,
going with
that's
that.
from 1984 for sure. But because they have cameras everywhere and they're watching you to make sure you're 100% compliant with everything. A lot of the quotes I see in regards to this administration from 1984 actually have to do with like the revisionist history when the White House eliminates certain words from official transcripts and whole sentences sometimes. And that's a big thing in 1984 is like they'll go back in and change the news from the day before to say what they wanted to say on the record.
That's both sides. That's both sides of the fucking aisle, man.
It is. It is, but only one side is doing it in the government. Everything else is just individual people or certain fringe media groups on both sides doing it, and but to have the actual government also doing it is when it gets scary.
Yeah,
and they're putting out that official information, which aren't direct quotes, and they're treating them as direct quotes, but they've been doctored.
Yeah, man, and that's I said a lot of stuff about the media and them and their fuckery, and it's true. I think they need to hold themselves to a higher standard, and I completely believe that.
Definitely.
But at the same time, I'm not at all trying to cast aspersions of like don't believe the media. the fuck the media or fake news. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want
No.
anybody to take that away from what I was saying. I
No, and
literally,
I don't at all. I'd never heard you say anything like that, to be honest.
yeah, I just want to be clear. The fucking media has such an important role in what we do, and that's where I just look at that. I'm like, guys, you gotta just keep that fucking bar as high as you can
Yeah.
for forever. God damn it! Like,
Yeah.
stop. You
I
know,
think
if some asshole over here dips the bar a little bit and they get the news out faster than you, like, you gotta. I think the news needs to play the long game. I think that there are enough people now that are wise to how this shit works, that are centrist people, or at least not as polarized at the ends, that are like, okay, look, like for me, I'm like, I'll give you that 24 hours or whatever you need to be like, well, we're going to cover this. We're covering it as responsibly as we can. Whatever the fuck, just do your job as well as you can. Like, don't cut corners in the news, man.
yeah.
Don't do that. You lose credibility. And that's where I'm like, look, man, if you're not the first one, but you're still the news outlet that I can trust the most, I'm
Yep.
like, dude, I will be there every day.
Yeah.
And I'll
I
wait.
will if something comes out one day, I will wait to like find out all the details until I hear it from my trusted news source. Like if it takes a day or two, that's fine. Like
Yeah,
I might keep up with it, but before I start like throwing my shit out there, I'm gonna, listen to people that I know vet their shit.
Yes, exactly. And I'll be like, oh man, I heard this shit. Oh, that's not looking great. Well, okay, let's give it a day. I don't know. And even if the reporting is like, well, so right now we're reporting, we're going to be following up with, I don't know, whatever reporter speak there is.
Yeah.
And we don't have all of the information. This is what we have now. Or if they withhold information that could be misleading until they have a fuller picture of something, like
Yeah.
that is your job. Your job is to present the news as accurately as you can. And
Yeah.
if you need to withhold information so that you're not casting, or you're not putting out like a false narrative on things, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But I know then they get into shit. They're like, oh, so-and-so fucking held on to this. It's like,
Yeah.
it's hard.
And
You
they
can't
try,
win.
dude. And that's the thing. Like I was gonna say with your what you said about your podcast that you did, the solo one yesterday. I think that was the biggest thing where we disagree. You're pretty hard on the media about it, and
I was.
I think they were put in a tough spot on this one because of that. But there was a lot of organizations that did release all the information as they got it every day, on the hour, and let the information kind of sort itself out. And they didn't hide it, they didn't bury it, and I think they tried to get it right, even though people on political sides that aren't trying to pretend to be neutral tend to what's the word I'm looking for? Really try and make an enemy
Placate.
out of the other side,
Damn
right?
it.
What'd you say?
I said placate. I don't know. I just wanted to
placate.
use that word.
Oh, god damn it! Now I forgot what I was gonna say. Uh,
Done.
What was I gonna say?
It's the end of the world. Oh shit! Real quick
Yeah.
tangent. Did you see that fucking, what's her name? Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, AOC or whatever?
Yeah.
She said that the world's ending in 12 years. You see that shit?
I saw it.
I probably
but-
took it out of context, but I watched it and she was like, the fucking world is ending in 12 years and this is our World War II. And I was like, World War II fucking happened. But are you just saying that this is our generation's version of World War II? Anyway,
yeah.
I'm
I
not
think
sure
that's
that
what
she's
trying to get.
I'm not sure that she's a great mind. I'm not sure. I think maybe she's loud and she says the right things. But
She's intelligent. She knows her shit.
Okay, well, I hope so. I fucking hope so. But she
Yeah.
said that shit about the world ending in 12 years, and I shouldn't, base my opinion of her based on that little soundbite. But I was like, what are you talking about?
She's talking about, I think what she's talking about is in 12 years, if we haven't made major changes, most scientists are saying that we won't be able to reverse it anymore.
Dude, I heard that it's like we're already fucked is what I heard.
Well, I mean, there's different degrees of fucked in what you're talking about, so there's a lot of gray room. It's not like we gonna get to the minute and second that, okay, now it's too late.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure,
maybe
for
now
sure.
it's already too late for some things.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I think we're just
so
already kind of fucked. Like,
yeah,
shit, man.
man, I'm
And
kind
I
of
don't
there
know.
too.
I don't mean that like, oh, the world's gonna end. We're fucked. That's a little overly doom and gloom. I don't think that there's gonna be a mass extinction of the human race necessarily. I think it's gonna get fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And if you're living on the shores of California, you might want to move that shit back a little bit.
yeah. Fucking
But
dude,
you know.
Florida's gonna be gone soon.
Right, dude, the Everglades, like all those fucking swampy places.
Yeah,
Dude, get out of New Orleans now, bro.
yeah.
Do
The
not
whole
anyone
the whole Gulf Coast move
any,
back.
anyone that decides to buy real estate there now, like, dude, just burn your money instead, bro.
Yeah,
Like, just burn your
for sure.
invest in bunker supplies instead. But that's a thing too that I don't know about is like I've also read that agriculture we're pretty much fucking ourselves agriculturally the way that we're just destroying the land, and then the seas are fucked because we overfish them, and then they're also getting too hot. That's the thing. Like, have we talked about global warming before on here?
I don't think we have. Let's save it for
God
next
damn it.
time.
I think we're segueing into that for a minute.
Yeah,
But these
we'll get
stupid
into it next
assholes
time.
that are like, oh, the world's not, it's cold right now. Like, dude, just talk to a scientist. I don't know
Yeah.
the answers, but
Well, they
talk to a
stopped.
scientist.
Largely, they stopped using that terminology of the global warming in the
Climate change.
2000s
Yeah.
because the problems kind of shifted, and it's a misnomer. It's not only global warming; it's climate change, like you said,
Exactly.
and it means more extreme weather patterns going back and forth,
Well, yeah,
changing and extreme.
and then when they're like, "Oh, well, it's fucking cold here. What are you? It's it's the coldest temperature we've had in this." And I'm making this up, but it's still cold. You're like, "Yeah, dude. Did you know that most of the Earth is fucking water, bro?" So when we're out in the middle of the Pacific and it's hot as fuck out here and it's 3 degrees warmer than it's supposed to be, like that's a problem, bro. And then
Yep.
these silly assholes that are like, have you heard fucking elected officials that are like, have you ever seen a glass with ice in it? What happens when the ice melts? Does your cup overflow? And you're like, dipshit. Did you know that there are large, huge chunks of land mass that's ice? And when that shit melts and it slips into the fucking water, that's when sea levels rise?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. No, I know, man. They
I
don't know
laugh
the
because it
they don't
hurts.
know the basics, like what you would learn in
I could
one
teach my
day.
7-year-old that. Yeah.
Yeah, like a one day of a decent high school class that would cover that kind of basic fundamentals. They don't know. They don't understand how any of it works.
This is like this is part of where what was it? There's a European country that just had a new round of elected officials. Maybe it was Germany. I don't know. But anyways, like 25% of the new people going into parliament had a STEM background. And I was like, "Oh, thank God, people that actually know what the fuck is
Oh
going on." Like
man, that's
real
awesome.
real economics professors, real
Yeah,
people that are climate scientists. Like, get these fucking lawyer politicians out of here that are like, well, we have no idea what's going on. So can we bring in experts and then ignore everything that they say? Like, oh my God.
yeah,
Vote for the Elon Musks of the world, God damn it.
yeah. I mean, no, I mean, I think with politics, it's a lot
We
like
need some social people
a
in
lot
that
of
shit.
like food. You are what you eat.
Yeah, man.
You are who you vote for, and we've
Yeah.
been voting for people that don't know what they're talking about in way too many sectors of our society. And our society has changed so fast and so much. The world has.
Yeah.
We need to try and keep up. We need to catch up a little bit with our
Term limits.
officials.
Get these old fucks out of here.
Term limits, 100%.
That's an easy day.
Exposing donors, like, or not exposing, but like putting that information out there. It should be publicly accessible who your representatives are taking bribes from.
Yeah.
Since we've legalized bribery.
Yeah, exactly.
So those two things alone would make a huge difference.
Yeah, campaign finance reform and
Term limits, 100%.
yeah, and term limits. And then also putting more restrictions on who are the people that like go between politicians and companies to be like, hey, come
Lobbyists.
use my
Lobbyists.
yeah, and lobbyists. And lobbyists they need to be reformed. Like, I understand after listening to an economics guy on a podcast. He's like, no, dude, we need lobbyists because there's too much shit out there for politicians just to understand. Like, we need people coming in and giving information, and it's good information sometimes. I would say he even said like most of the time. But it's when you get these snaky people that are like, hey, politician, you don't give a shit if this is good information, right? And they're like, no, man, I'm trying to get paid. And they're like, hell yeah, bro, I got you.
Yep.
And then even the limits for politicians being able to get into a lobbyist position, or they get super sneaky.
That's being promoted. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, they get sneaky and they're like, so wait, what's the actual verbiage that is for me becoming a lobbyist? They're like, you got to wait 5 years to be a lobbyist. They're like, well, what if we just call you a fucking executive representative of the company? And they're like, that's not a lobbyist, right? And they're like, no, man. They're like, fuck yeah, you're going to be that thing. So they give them a fake title that doesn't necessarily mean they're a quote unquote lobbyist. So it's a loophole. So they get to go directly to work for this company and be a goddamn lobbyist without the restrictions.
I think they tipped their hand a little bit too early on this because that's the bill that's being put forth right now, right?
Yeah,
so
Nancy
they have
Pelosi
time.
put something forward.
Yeah. It was the H1N1. No, that's a virus.
Yeah, that's a pig flu or some shit.
What is the HR1 or whatever?
There you go. You're getting close.
Yeah. Anyways, House Resolution 1. Yeah, the first one of this house. So they put one together and it included that. But, there's still time to tweak it. So all they have to do is define the actions instead of the title.
Exactly.
That, would basically prevent lobbying. You can't work for a company in any kind of representative or advisory or lobbyist capacity.
Yep. You can't talk to so-and-so. I mean, I don't know, get some, but.
Yeah.
But that's huge. That was a really big deal. And I've heard, like, I've said in the past that I'm not a big fan of Nancy Pelosi. I'm not really sure why now. Maybe she did some shit in the past. I don't know. But as soon as I saw that come out, and I was like, fuck, thank God. And these people that are, Nancy Pelosi's a piece of shit, and she's a shill and, government paid person. And I was like, damn, she's trying to get rid of lobbyists or prevent it from being the corrupt institution that it is now. And I was like, I'm tipping my hat to that bitch. Good job, Nance.
She's surprised me. And you know what? I think she's, this is kind of a backhanded insult, admittedly, but I think she's, of all the mega wealthy, lifetime politicians that have, obviously everybody before this new wave pretty much took corporate money and did all that and came up in that game. For somebody brought up in that, she's being pretty progressive and pretty
responsible.
Yeah, she is. So I don't agree with her on everything, but I mean, it's right now on what she's doing. It's hard to argue with.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing too. When I was looking at it, and I was like, man, maybe she's done shit in the past I don't agree with, but as long as she's killing it right now, what am I gonna say? Like,
yeah, if she keeps this up for 2 to 4 more years, like this attitude and this, she'll go down as a very well liked politician at the end.
Yeah. I hope she just keeps on keeping on with this.
Yeah. It's all reasonable. That's the thing. Your stance just needs to be reasonable in the face of crazy.
Yeah. Everybody can get behind campaign finance reform.
Yep.
Dude, this is easy stuff.
Yeah. Take all the layups. Anything that is polling with the American people across all spectrums in the 60s or above approval rating. Like, start with the stuff that's like 90%, and then go down to like anything in the 80s, anything in the 70s, and just knock it out. Healthcare for all, single payer. Like that's polling really high, which is basically Medicaid for all or Medicare for all.
I was just reading about that.
What else? The student debt issue and all the
that's a huge one.
The prey type tactics that are that companies use to prey on fucking 17-year-olds that they get to sign up for these like loans.
School, yeah.
And pharmacies, so I don't know, but
no, that was somebody was talking about Medicare, Medicaid for all, single payer finance, which they're
pharmacies are huge donors to people that oppose it.
Yeah, they're all slightly different. But they were like, and opposition to it is it's untenable because of the financial burden that it's going to place on the country. And they're like, yeah, because the system's broken and we pay 10 to 20 times as much for healthcare as it actually costs. That's why we can't afford a single payer healthcare system. Once we can rein that shit in, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a government controlled thing. Maybe it can be, private companies, but the government, however the fuck they figure it out. I don't know, whatever. But once the government can step in and be like, dude, you can't charge $8,000 for insulin anymore, asshole, then, then costs plummet.
Well, they put restrictions on they put restrictions on themselves in being able to negotiate prices with drug companies. They're not allowed to negotiate. Like, what kind of shit is that? What kind of terrible fucking deal making is that?
Dude, do you remember the fucking kid? I said call him a kid. I don't know. He's probably like in his 30s. He was just some super rich guy, young dude, that bought a pharmaceutical company and then literally jacked the prices up by like...
Oh, yeah.
By like... I can't even make up a number, but it was an obscene amount.
It was 800%, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something like that, yeah.
It was something insane. And he
it was like from $50 a dose to $800 a dose.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And he was just making obscene amounts of money, and he could
Martin
just do it.
Scrizelli, I think.
I don't know, but dude, if there was a face that might be punchable, it's definitely that one.
Yeah. Hey man, you can't. He was just
calling
smiling.
For violence, bro.
He was just showing the judge how like peaceful he was, and wanted the judge to know he was just a nice guy telling the truth.
Dude, I do not condone violence, but I think he should be locked up. Maybe.
Yeah. Who? Scrizelli or whatever? Scarelli. Yeah, Martin Scarelli.
That fucking asshole. I can't remember his name, but yeah.
Yeah. He should be locked up and punched.
God,
you know what? Him and the kid can just be locked up together and they just punch each other like through the bars.
That's
right
a good
in the
idea.
face.
That's not terrible.
Yeah. No, the kid shouldn't be locked up. He's not a hoodlum. He's not a career criminal. He's just misguided, and like you pointed out before, that's how he was brought up. So you got to cut him some slack. If for nothing else, that's what he's being fed and surrounded by. He's just a product of his environment.
Dude, give him a handful of years, and if he turns out to be a little cunt, then you guys can blast him. I still don't think you should physically assault him, but
I think he's on his way to being a little cunt right now.
Dude, that was part of my point. Is like, dude, y'all have propelled this kid into like being hardened and steadfast in his beliefs now for like even more. It's going to be so much harder to turn this kid around now because he's been in the loving embrace of the dear leader, and everybody else on the other side wants him punched and whatever other horrific things I'm sure people said. Who are these people that send death threats and say this shit to people? That's insane.
Yeah. Dude, I've received them. That's insane to me. Like, over something that I thought was non-controversial. Like, it just there's crazy people out there, and there's very unstable people out there that you can't incite. They're gonna do stuff. They are.
There's a perfect Black Mirror episode about it. I think I mentioned it before with goddamn little mechanical bees.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's dead on with what we're doing right now. Black Mirror fucking crushed it as always.
It's got that mob mentality where
dead on.
Groups of people just instinctively gang up on somebody, and that's pretty much that's the premise of the whole thing is the mob mentality and
100%. What else were we going to talk about today?
I don't know, man.
Did we talk? About
no, we didn't even talk about the wall. Look at that.
Well, we talked a little bit about who's responsible and that they need to drop that shit and open the government. I think that's kind of where we ended with that. I don't think we got into any nuance about what are the merits or
okay, well, let's talk about that a little bit. Pros and cons. I don't know. Do you have any pros?
It's going to be invisible. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that is pretty badass, man. We'll have that stealth.
It's gonna be cool.
B1 stealth wall.
Yeah, I think the models that they have up already and the choices they had to choose from, I think it's really gonna class up the place. Like right now, you just have open desert, and that's like, that's pretty scenic and nice, but people have taken enough pictures of that.
Yeah.
Let's put a fancy bedazzled wall in there. You know what I mean?
Bedazzled. Damn. Yeah.
I figure it should be a little flashy.
I was thinking like gold, or maybe
Gold.
that paint job that like in one light it looks gold, and another one it looks purple.
Oh, dude,
That
yes.
two tone. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That
Yeah.
adds a little bit of flair.
Yeah, and it's got a little gold for Trump, and you put like Trump wigs on all the drones that patrol it, just so you can
Trump
see
wig?
his.
Oh my god.
I mean, come on, you gotta keep it light.
God. Oh, this
But
fucking guy in his hair. Oh my god. Dude, just cut
yeah,
it, bro. Just cut it.
yeah,
I
he
don't know
probably
if he
looked more
did,
badass if he just shaved it. Just
right?
fucking, he looked like Walter White. Just like if Trump comes out and he's ever looking like fucking Britney Spears, ranting and raving with a shaved head, like
Dude,
that's
I'm
some
going
good
to the
TV.
nearest I'm going to the nearest bunker at that point. I'm like, he hit the button.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, he
Yep.
hit the button.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, that's a good point, man.
That's your fucking that's your
But
groundhog
is
right there. Trump comes out with a shaved head or a new hairdo. Oh, damn it. Oh, damn. I knew I should have been collecting water this whole time. Idiot.
Yep.
Idiot.
Yeah, man.
Oh well.
That's a
Man,
warm side. That's the canary in the coal mine. Like in
I
Trump's hair.
I have been on like a tear lately about I don't know what it is, but somehow I heard someone speak and they burrowed their way into my mind a little bit, and I've been like, I need to start preparing for some bad shit to go down. Like, I'm not even saying like, the tensions growing between different segments of the country, which is definitely a thing, and I pray
Yeah.
to God that it doesn't turn anything more than words, which still aren't great. But like, dude, solar flares. I'm back to the end of the world shit with you right now.
Yeah.
Solar flares, or even if we just have a bad hurricane and the grid goes out, or if somebody comes up with some weapon that or hacks into our system and takes the grid down, like shit will go bad fast. Like this is what I heard it from. Somebody was talking about like not Katrina. What was the one that hit Jersey like 5 years ago?
Oh, Maria? No.
Sure. One of those assholes.
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah, man, the first day all the power was out, we go to the gas station and people are like, no, you go ahead. Fill up your tanks. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Oh, thanks, man. And then like 3 days later, people are a little bit more shovey and they're like,
Dude, 3 days later, they're already like yelling at people to stop topping off.
dude, he was like, because the power was out for 9 days in his community, he's
Yeah.
like, by day 7, people were screaming at each other, fucking cutting each other off, and that's for gas. And he was like, that's not even for medical supplies for your dying kid that needs insulin or whatever. He's like, dude, when that shit happens and you're only at day 7, dude, people are gonna turn just feral immediately. And I was like,
Yep.
dude, I don't want to be a prepper, and I don't necessarily feel like that's where I should be spending my energy. But part of me is like, dude, we got to do something though, bro. We got kids. If it was just me, I'd be like, fuck it. I'll go to the woods and I'll fucking write it out and it'll be whatever. But I'm like, I got kids, man. All right, I got to be more prepared than I am right now.
Yep. I'm glad you came around. Like, it makes
I'm
my
not even
soul so
joking.
happy.
I'm not joking. I'm there, dude. I'm ready to be the nut job that's like, yo, man, I got all the supplies. And people are like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? I'm like, y'all are going to be fucking happy, bro.
Yep.
Got a lot of time.
For sure, man. I was just talking to somebody yesterday. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make my kids some little kid like prepper bags, like they're stuff that they would need that they could handle and use, tools that
Yeah.
are age appropriate, and just have their own little bug out bags for them to carry.
Yeah, man. Well, I was even thinking, I was like, dude, we need to start going camping. It's freezing right now, but when it warms up, when you go camping, I need to bring a little survivalist guide, and we're gonna start doing like little things in there, or we're gonna read about it, just so it's in their head.
Yep.
I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
I need a little bug out bag too. You'll just have to email me all the things I need to buy, and I'll just do that.
You know what we need to do, man? We need to start a line of children's books for like the end of the world preparation, like prepper for kids, just like
that
good,
kids can understand.
good moral stories that teach them like good, valuable prepper lessons.
I'm okay with that.
Dude,
I think there's definitely a market.
There's a market.
There's a market. And
All
then
right.
you know,
trademarked, copyrighted.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah. Fucking Fry's gonna take this idea to get run.
Yeah, 100% he is.
Yeah.
That bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the worst. But yeah,
Fucking
you have
goofy.
it like at the reading level of a kid. So when, I've been killed by something and they're just there and they're stuck, like, dude, you can read this and you can get a little bit of information like, dude, don't drink that. Or you gotta just, even kids knowing that they have to somehow boil water, that's like huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
no kid's gonna
think
just
about
think
how
about
easy
that.
you could just kind of cartoon a water filter into a story, like in just two little panes of like sand and charcoal, and you know what I mean, like just boom,
Yeah,
boom,
dude.
right there, bam, it's in their mind. Sand, charcoal, funnel down, through it, and pull out all
Images are powerful.
the dangerous impurities, and
Yeah, man.
that alone, one page.
I'm telling you, I have been thinking, because I gotta buy a house here soon again, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be in the city, bro. A lot of people around here.
A lot of people are saying cities are bad.
Those people are real close together,
Yep.
which I appreciate, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know what it. But yeah, I'm like, oh man. I think maybe it comes with age. You're less like optimistic about things. Like enough stuff has happened, and you start kind of filtering it. And then you have kids, so you have to worry about that. So that makes you a little bit more paranoid just off the get go. And you slowly are like, hey man, history keeps showing me that shit gets bad every so often.
Yep.
And it hasn't happened in a little while. So damn it.
Primed.
We're at the cusp of something. I hope
For
not.
sure. Like I 100% think we are.
And then you realize how reliant we are on everything. The power goes out for a few days. You're like, oh dude, it's freezing in here. Especially it's winter time.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Imagine if like just electricity went out in a major city for 3 days during a heat wave.
Oh God. Yeah.
Like, people are going to start dropping everywhere. I mean.
Oh yeah. You have 700 people in the community pool, and people are trampling and drowning each other because they're fucking hot.
Or the water gets contaminated. Such like the major water supply to a big city gets contaminated.
Dude, that's a big one too.
Like, and it takes days, weeks to like truck in enough water to clean it out.
Dude, Flint, Michigan is still fucked, right? Or maybe they're not now, but recently they were
they're still fucked. They're still fucked.
They have to truck in bottled water to exist.
And they've cut the funding for like the bottled water that is being shipped in.
Okay, can we address how is that not a fucking news story still? Is it? Am I unaware of
every
the news
once in a while? Some of the more like the left,
they'll do a blip.
They'll do like, oh, and by the way, Flint, Michigan is now on day 942 since we found out the water is being poisoned, and they'll kind of give an update, but it's like nobody cares because they already know. We all know don't drink fucking water in Flint. Yeah. And that's kind of where we're, as a society, I guess, okay with leaving it. I mean, not individually, but collectively with our voices and our votes, that's what's being said. Or there's other problems that have taken away from, that we consider more immediate and imminent.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I literally don't have drinking water. That's nuts. They went full third world country in fucking Flint, man.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. They're
insane. In
Flint's
the U.S.,
got to be one of the hardest places right now in the U.S. to live.
That's that's the shit that I can't get over is when people get pissed off about stupid ass bullshit.
Yep.
And here I am getting mad
about the whole Native American and the kids, like how
all
much
of the things.
Energy and time it took away from real stories.
Oh God, even me. I feel like an asshole for even giving a shit at this point and talking about it. I should have spent the last hour talking about how Flint, Michigan is still fucked. We've all buried our heads in the sand because no one gives a shit anymore. Well, we're doing it now. Castle Light, Flint, Michigan. You are not alone, even though you are.
Yeah. No.
Do not go into the dying light or whatever.
Leave the water alone.
The water.
Get the fuck out of Flint, Michigan, man. Abandon
That's
that place.
That's a good point. If you can, ghost town that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Dude. And then some rich guy comes in and is like, well, I'll fix the fucking water, and he makes a new town, and he owns everything, and whatever. I don't know. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
As long as somebody fixes it, I guess.
They'll find a way
Or,
to take all the property away from everybody, and
oh, yeah.
then gentrify. Flint will be like in 20 years, like where the rich people live now.
Yeah, it'd be like the Brooklyn of Michigan or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fucked up thing. Like, if you are in Flint, you're not selling your house to anybody.
Nope.
Dude, we should look at what house prices are in Flint, Michigan, just to check it out.
You know, I checked a couple years ago actually, and there were houses like just sitting $4,000, shit like that, like crazy stuff.
Dude, we should start buying those houses and just wait it out. Like, I don't want to live there, but just wait it out. It'll get fixed eventually, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, I mean technically you're not wrong. Like if you do, that's a long game though.
That's long, yeah.
You know, before you can, and
I got 20 years or 30 years. I could wait it out.
You know, I would do that if it was someplace I wanted to live, but I'm not going to do it for.
No,
I mean, because that really is like the whole like gentrification process. Is
for
people
sure.
with money buy it and they try and like upcycle it to the next level and to the next level until the local people can no longer afford to live there.
We're not helping anybody.
No,
we're definitely taking advantage of the situation to make a buck. We're like, oh, I'm sorry, you guys' lives were ruined. Yeah, but I could probably make some money off you guys being fucked for years.
Yeah. It'd be a good place for a charity for, you know, if you're trying to look for a lot of property to build housing, like buy that shit up.
That's a good one too. Yeah, man. That's good. Or it could be a good place to start our future cult. I didn't say that, though.
Dude, as you were saying it, it was popping in my mind. I was like, wait a second. And I had this big picture of like a dark church with like, you know, some kind of...
Yeah. And not one of those cults where I like... me or Chris have to fuck your guys' wives or anything like that. Like, it's cool, dude. We're not doing that. It's just going to be like, you know, satanic culty a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So my first
rule,
we're for sure
on a watch list now.
If I ever start a cult religion, I think rule number 1 should be like, literally, like, I think I would write, don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
Dude, you can't go wrong with that one. You could you could cut it into like, you know, thou shalt not lie, like
thou shalt not talk shit to thy neighbor.
Like, yeah, like, but if you're being an asshole for no reason other than to be an asshole,
right, comedic liberties a little bit. Come on, guys, grow a thick skin.
Yeah.
I can't get past people that don't find humor in things. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a generational thing or some shit or whatever, or because my brain just works that way. But I'm like, come on, man. I get that we need to be nicer to each other, but there's a difference between being a dick and just, you know, being a dick, like fucking around. You know what I mean? Like we talk shit all the time.
That's that toxic masculinity, man. And your white privilege allows you to say that.
I saw, and this is me without giving it any thought, but I'm gonna say it anyways, so whatever. But I saw a thing that was like, everybody's pissed off about toxic masculinity until millions of men have to go save the fucking world and like millions of them die. And I was like, yeah, I can see that point, but it's also the men that started the fucking war, so there's that too, bros.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good counterpoint.
Like, yeah, we also got into it, but we also are the ones that fucking get sacrificed like no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck about little boys.
Ultimately, this comes down to people with power and money and people without power or money. Like, those are the only two real ways to divide humanity, human race, civilization properly. Because all the other lines blur back and forth, you know, depending on where you live. But there's people with money and power, and then there's people without. And there's no greater gap than those two categories.
Yeah. It's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
So
privileged as shit.
Anyway, that's all my thoughts on all of the subjects.
This literally has been all of my thoughts for the day. I don't think I have any more to give.
I don't either.
Brain is empty.
My tea's gone. I need a refill.
This is it. All right, guys, we're calling it. Go prep yourself. I think we're back to that now.
Yeah, I don't think that should have ever been like taken out. Like,
I know. We need to stomp that more.
Yeah.
Shit, good topic. We covered some stuff, and some of the stuff we wanted to, and then some other stuff, and there were other things, and then we went
Yeah.
to prepping, which makes me happy at the end
Yeah,
of
I
the day.
think let's talk about for next time. Maybe we'll talk about the climate change and give some updates on some numbers and statistics and find out what the major players are doing or not doing.
I'm down with that. You know what? Next
Yeah.
episode we'll do climate change, guys, and let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about.
All right. Peace.
That is episode number 3. You're welcome, America. Hope you're enjoying the new format. I guess it's not really new. It's not new. It's like aesthetically different, but it's pretty much all the same shit. So hope you're still enjoying what we're doing. If not, if you are, let us know. We can make this a better product for everybody, really. And we still haven't. I mean, we're gonna enjoy doing it no matter what. But it would be nice if we're gonna be doing it to do it the best that we can, and that's what we're already trying to do. You know, we don't really half-ass this for what we put into it and all of that. It's for a hobby. We put a lot of time in, and we try to make it the best that we can. So anyways, having said all of that, just let us know so we can fine tune this shit and make it even better for everybody. Make you want to listen a little more. Let us know what you think about the topics, if there's anything you want to discuss, and we'll keep on going from there. Like I said, I think the next episode we'll do 4 will be on climate change. I don't know how we haven't talked about that. We got a few more that we have to talk about. We haven't really talked about guns rights issues, which is crazy because Chris was actually relatively vocal and participated kind of after one of the last mass shootings that occurred. And so I'd like to get him on this platform, be able to talk about it, and me too. And that's what we're going to do. And we'll keep coming up with new ideas and rolling them out for you. All right, that's it. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And as we always say here, be good to each other. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. See you next time.